Good morning, everyone. Burt Langell here. I call myself Teacher Burt. Can you hear me okay? Uh, Let me know in the comments if you can hear me. Make sure I have my mic set properly and you can see me. So today we're going to talk about being really confident in your business English meetings. Talk about some of the phrasal verbs you're going to encounter, some of the special language, uh, and tell me, are you working in English now? Let me know. Do you do English meetings? What do you find challenging when you do an English meeting? Um, yeah, and where you're located. So just let me know if anybody's here, just so I, I know if I have an audience. I do these fairly often. I do almost every morning. I go live on TikTok under my banner, Teacher Burt, and it's surprising the audience that is there. Usually, I get maybe 1,000 viewers. So, and we do all sorts of things about business English, English in general, pronunciation, phrasal verbs, all that sort of thing. So there's my little advertisement for my TikTok sessions. Yeah, so let's talk about this. Introductions, understanding, how important is it to you to use English in your business meetings? Do you have to do meetings? Are you expected to speak during meetings? Are you doing presentations to an English speaking audience, maybe foreign English speakers? So you're working for an international company, or perhaps you're working on your skills so you can work for an international company or a US, Canadian, or UK company, maybe to earn a higher income. How can I help you today? What questions do you have about doing English meetings? Are there things you're concerned about? Do you have enough confidence speaking English? Is this a problem? Are you ever afraid to speak in meetings? I've had students who are very good at English, very good, C1, B2. They have no proficiency issue speaking English, but then they are just afraid to speak. And this has often affected their careers. They're not moving up in the company because they're afraid to speak in meetings, but they understand everything about it. They're brilliant in their careers. So you need to build that confidence. And the only way to build the confidence is the doing. Do you agree with me? Let me know in the chat if you agree that it's the doing that's going to perfect your business English skills. And nobody has let me know yet if you can hear me. So I hope you can hear me. It would be kind of a waste of time to speak for half an hour and have silence. It's like the tree that falls in the forest. Is there really any noise from it if there's no receiver? So starting a meeting. Okay, so we've started our meeting. I'm so happy you are here with me. Thank you for attending the meeting. Thank you for coming on time. I'm not going to waste your time. We're going to dive into this discussion because we have a very important topic. And I hope you will pitch in. Pitch in. What does that mean? Pitch in. You will join the conversation and present your ideas. So pitch in. And you've had the agenda. Does anybody want to add anything to the agenda? And perhaps it will be relevant to this meeting. If it's not, we'll circle back to it in the next meeting. So this is important, right? Greet the crowd and get down to business, right? We get down to business. We need to start the meeting. We need to pull them in. Maybe if it's a big meeting, you might have to take your glass and go let them know that we're starting. Maybe a little louder than that. So we have to bring it to order. And of course, we got to keep our eyes on the camera. And I have my two monitors here, so sometimes I take my eyes off it. So and now we're going to get into the meat of our presentation, right? Running the meeting, presenting points, engaging the audience. So, okay, we've greeted the audience. Maybe we used a hook or something. So it is essential that you listen closely to this meeting because there's going to be some information that could affect your careers. And I don't want to let you down by not getting this information to you, okay? Let you down, disappoint you. And so to continue, our first issue today is how do we account for the reduction in profits in the last quarter? Can you fill me in on your ideas pertaining to this? Okay. Account for. Does anybody know what we mean when we say account for something? I think the context of it pretty much tells the story. And remember, I'm recording this session so you can watch the recording to pick up on these phrasal verbs. We use this very often, and the English native speakers don't even think about when they use a phrasal verb. It's just, to us, it's vocabulary. So account for is, why did it happen? Okay. Can I count on you to help us fix this problem? So count on you means, can I depend on you? Are you going to help us solve this problem? Can I count on you? Will you join us in fixing this problem? So now we've talked about the first point. We've taken a deep dive into it. What does it mean to take a deep dive into a problem, right? So of course, deep dive is we have to look at the data and find out what the issue is. We have to present it in detail, perhaps, so that people have a reference to speak about. Now, hopefully, if it's a lot of information in that, you've sent it out before the meeting, so you're not going to waste a lot of time in the meeting and just presenting information that could have been delivered to by email. Isn't that right? We have to value the time of the people that are in the meeting. We can't just go in there and take them away from their projects for an hour or two. If we could do it in 20 minutes or 15 minutes, we really need to be conscious of this. And most people feel 80% of meetings are a waste of time. So let's make them really relevant. Now, the next point is, nobody going to speak up today? I'd love to hear from you. And tell us where you're from. Is there anybody here from Brazil or Colombia or Mexico or Spain, France, Italy? Let me know where you're from. Chile, maybe. Discussing and brainstorming. How do we get people to really join in and present their ideas and not just let it be one way? We want our meetings to be interactive and valuable. Now, as the leader of the meeting, you have to keep everybody on point, right? So if they kind of deviate, if they get off point, then we need to bring it back. So we might say, well, those are really interesting ideas, John. Let's put that on the agenda for the next meeting, or let's consider we can catch up after this meeting and discuss it between the two of us. So continuing on, Mary, could you give us your points on the profitability issue? So we have to rein it in. We have to bring it back to the point very often. It's easy to let somebody kind of take over the meeting and talk and waste time. And when people haven't put their ideas together properly, they go around in circles and that. And and we'll lose the attention of the audience. And we must bring them back into it, right? We must lead the meeting while being respectful and everything and having that interaction. We do have to be a leader. So getting the brainstorming up there, discussing ideas, getting participation, agreeing, disagreeing. And how do we disagree in a professional way? Okay, John, yeah, I can see some merit in your ideas, and I might like to develop them in the future. However, from the experience we had on the XYZ project, I really believe we must keep going in this direction. And if I'm wrong, how about meeting with me after the meeting and we can touch base on this? We can circle back to it. Okay? Thank you very much. So we have to treat everybody with respect, and we have to let them know that their ideas have value, and you just be very businesslike. It's a team effort, right? And maybe I'm wrong. Suggesting solutions. I like the acronym SPIN. We have a situation, right? And sometimes there's a situation. So there's a drop in profits. There's a labor issue. There's something else going on. There's a lot of absenteeism in the team. There's a situation. What is the true problem? Okay? Because sometimes we think the situation is the problem, but the situation is a symptom of the problem. So we need to dive into this, take a deep dive, analyze it, use all your brains, all your skills, all your analytics and that, and really get to the core of the problem. Maybe we don't have the right resources. Maybe there are constraints that are holding us back. Maybe there's a blocker on the team who needs to be checked in with and maybe motivated to produce a little better and give us the information we need. So these are all things we run into, of course. And let me know if this material is important to you. Do you do meetings in English? Maybe you're attending these meetings, but you'd like to be a leader. Maybe you want to get promoted, or you're just getting ready to work with an English company. And this is important because, hey, we all need to earn more money to support our families. We want to give them a better home, educate our children, everything. And let's face it, the global economy, one of the key skills you need is a good proficiency in English. And I have a free community. If you were to see me in TikTok, I have that in my profile there. But just send me a message if you want to know about the free community I have. People do a 30-day speaking challenge there. Every day certain people, no, you don't have to do it, but they take their phone and they record a message about what they're doing, what they're thinking about, what they're watching, what they read, just for a couple minutes. And you wouldn't believe the change it's making in their English. And if you join the community, then you can listen to these different people and you'll see the change, the growth of the confidence and everything. So, and this is relevant to doing meetings and presentations. You need to get comfortable. And the only way to get comfortable with this stuff is to do it, right? It's just like learning to swim. At a certain point, you have to swim in the water. You just can't practice on the sand, right? You have to get in the ocean. You have to do it. And then pretty soon you'll be out there over your head, swimming around, having a good time. So practice, practice, practice. Now, how do we conclude our meetings? Summarizing the points, right? So today, the main takeaway from this meeting is that we are having a problem with our profitability. We need to take a deep dive. I need follow-up from you. I need more information from you. I'm counting on you to pitch in, to join in and help us solve this problem. And I really thank you for coming today. And I know that you are just as concerned about this issue as I am, because it actually affects us in the pocketbook, right? If we want those bonuses, we need to solve this profitability issue. Plus, I know you're all team players and you want the team to do well. What do you think? Am I using the proper language for these meetings? And then we have a thing at the beginning. We have to decide how we're going to handle questions. I believe we should, in a meeting, we should take the questions as they arrive, but be remembering the time, right? Keep an eye on our watch. Make sure we don't lose our pacing and everything. And what questions would you have? Does anybody have any questions for me? I haven't seen any interaction from this group. I'm sure there are people here, but I do it through StreamYard, and I don't actually get a lot of data until after the meeting. So let me know if you can hear me, that you are here, and that. So the Q&A and the wrap up. So what's the takeaway? What's the takeaway? What is the takeaway? It's the most important point. What you want them to remember, what are the actionable steps you want them to take? Of course, you're going to follow it up with an email, right? You're going to let them know what we talked about, who agreed to do what, when it's to be done, why it must be done, how it will be done. Maybe we leave that up to them, but we have deliverables that we're looking for. And we've expressed gratitude. We talked about the next steps. Maybe we let them know when the next meeting will occur. Now, what am I missing? I'm open to suggestions here. Let me know if Teacher Burt has missed anything. I've been coaching people in business English for the last 5 years. I was in business for over 30 years. I've been kicking this old can around for a long time. So let me know how I can help you. What would you like to know about this that maybe I haven't presented today? Are there some phrasal verbs that maybe I didn't bring up, right? Bring up that I talked about. So we talked about I can count on you, depend on you to do this. We're not going to put it off. We're not going to procrastinate. We're not going to delay it. We're not going to leave it. We're going to be proactive and get into this, aren't we? So we talked about pitch in. Everybody pitches in and helps. Everybody's going to give us a hand and help. And we needed to account for what the problem is, right? Figure out, another phrasal verb, determine what the problem is, figure out, account for the problem. And it's almost hard to speak in English sometimes as a native and not use phrasal verbs. They're so common. We're probably not going to use a lot of idioms with a foreign English-speaking crowd, but we definitely by accident will be using lots of phrasal verbs. And on a phrasal verb, remember the second word, the preposition, is often what really tells you most about the meaning of it. Is it going up? Is it going down? Is it increasing or is it falling down? Are we going out to find something? Are we going to figure out something? We're finding out what's going on. We're determining, okay? We're going out to get something. And Your kids grow up, they get bigger. So phrasal verbs are very, very common in business. The natives use them all the time. We just live with them. I mean, you probably have phrasal verbs in your language. Uh, what did I? So we are going to carry out a change, right? Carry out. And if somebody maybe interrupts you, you're going to say, let's carry on. Thank them for what they said and move the meeting on. You're the leader. You've got to keep the thing active and going. So if there are no further questions or any questions, I'm going to finalize this. I'll check the comments after, and there is a delay on LinkedIn. So sometimes I don't see your comment until after I'm finished. And I hope you have a fantastic Tuesday and a great week. And I wish you the greatest success. And just let me know. You can DM me or comment, whatever you need. If you want a copy of this, just let me know, or with the slides. So thank you very much. And remember, good practice, good preparation is going to make your meeting much better, right? Give you confidence. And you can do this. You can do this. Keep telling yourself. Remember, it's our subconscious mind that's telling us we're not good enough, that we're not confident, and all this baloney. So you wouldn't take it from somebody else. So don't take it from yourself. It's just that negative, primitive mind of ours that is fearful, that is always pushing us to say, no, you have to prepare a little more. But there is a time when we have to deliver, right? So thank you very much. I appreciate your time and have a great day.